Welcome to Albion TV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world, keeping you up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. Today is Tuesday, the 23rd of November, 2021. I am your host, the Shozen One, and I am joined today after a long break. My co-host, Bogul, has
Hello.
returned with me. How are you doing?
Doing good. Excited for tomorrow, especially. But it's good to be back. We had 2 weeks off almost, 1.5.
Well, we had about a 1.5 break because we did have the CLC. Congratulations to the one and only Fit,
Mm-hmm.
who have now won 4 CLCs, I believe.
Is that all of them?
No, they lost one.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
2, actually, 2.
2.
But
Right.
yeah, it's very impressive by these guys. Cargera and the boys once again pulling it off. We were here for that, but then we had a short break as we had a bit of an extended off season.
True.
As Sandbox Interactive is preparing to release The Lands Awakened tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yes. That's
Tomorrow.
today's show. That's today's show about, right? Tomorrow, more or less. We will have some of the.
Tomorrow.
Is that a song?
I'll
I don't know.
patch ya tomorrow. You don't know Annie? Little Orphan Annie? But tomorrow?
Chat, do you know Little Orphan Annie and Tomorrow?
Oh my god.
Do I need to Google this?
Oh my god.
Anyways.
Do you know how hard it is to make like cultural references with somebody who has none of the same experience as you growing up at all? They're from the completely other side of the earth, and they don't understand Little Orphan Annie, doesn't understand Daddy Warbucks. Like, how am I even supposed to survive on this?
Just reduce it to like memes on the internet. I think that's a shared baseline for reference.
Stonks up?
Got that one.
Okay.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, today's show. Mostly it's about tomorrow, right? We do have a bunch of news, a bunch of things that you should be aware of going into tomorrow. We will show you what's up tomorrow. And other than that, we just are getting ready, more or less. There is a few things to talk about in terms of maybe the political landscape, guilds getting ready, right? But there's also like 10 different posts by the Albion Online team with important information that you should be aware of in general. We also do have some news. I think a thing you like very much. Do you want to talk about that just briefly now before we go into it later, or?
Wait, are you talking about the Albion Creators Program?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't know. You just said there's a thing that you like a lot. You want to go into that now?
I think you like Twitch.
Coming out tomorrow.
Creators.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the creator program. It's a long time overdue. I'm very glad that it's finally getting done. There is finally a program for content creators in Albion, whether it's through Twitch or YouTube or any other means where you constantly create content for Albion, then you have followers and fans, and you have been looking for ways to get more involved with the game and have more ways to get access to stuff such as raffles. You know, like we have gold codes, premium, cosmetics, better access to promotion through the official website and through us and through Twitter, as well as behind the scenes help, just all the things that streamers needed here, Bogul.
Yeah, in case
it's starting to happen.
Yeah, in case you aren't a streamer, which might also be a case, then that basically for you just means there's more free stuff to grab from various streams from various locations, and that's good news, right? Free stuff is always nice, and I also already see a bunch of people going ham on the raffle shows. And is that a thing as well today again?
There's always a raffle.
There's always a raffle. Nice.
Somewhere in the world, there's always a raffle. But yeah, there'll be a raffle. I'm going to pull a bunch of gold codes today. I have extra ones from the CLC the other day that weren't claimed. And you know how that goes. It just works out for these guys really well. We were hoping to do this is a bit of cleanup before we go into the creators program again. We were hoping to do a Crystal League show either today or Thursday, but it sounds like we moved that to Thursday and then realized that it was Thanksgiving.
Oh.
And
well,
the cost that it would, to me, of taking another hour out of the prime time of Thanksgiving it just doesn't not good. Risk
so
versus
no
reward,
crystal,
Bogle.
so no
Like,
crystal coverage
risk versus
tonight, then.
reward, very bad. Like,
Yeah.
just wife might end me. Like, my career might be
End
over.
you? Oh no.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But let's get back to that creators program. We do have a list of streamers that you guys can watch. So we have a bunch of highlighted streamers from the creators program who've already told everybody that they will be streaming on launch day. If you're not watching us, do check them out. Let me get you that showcase. Boom.
Look at that picture. Yeah, there's this whole list, language and time and sort of, but there is, I think, over the course of time still the option to get into that program, and I think we have some of the perks and stuff. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we have to get through it really quick today because fortunately we have so much content from the last 2 weeks that we need to cover. So I'm just going to stick that into chat right there. If you guys are in chat right now and you want to be part of the creators program, go ahead and check out that link. That is to the forum post that has even more information. And to the guy who's asking in chat, no, if you type raffle twice, you will not be disqualified, though I should tell people you will be.
What? No, the messages just get deleted by the bot because you want to clean up chat. Yeah.
All right, let me pull one now. Like, calm these guys down. I think they need some gold.
Gold for
calm
the
them down. All right.
So other than a relaxed holiday, sir, did anything else happen like in between the CLC when we last streamed or before the end of the season? Because we had sort of a few big ticket numbers. The Energy Surge season ended. We had the Crystal League Championship. Now it's pre-patch hype time. The new season will start on the weekend, season 14. Everybody is sort of getting ready. A lot of people are coming back right now. Lots of guilds are out and about again. There's a lot of activity right now in the Beehive. Anything that you know from the top of your head that you want to highlight maybe from?
Well, yeah, Sun left PoE.
Sun left PoE.
On bad terms.
That's straight up guild drama. Okay.
Yeah, so they got robbed. And then like 2 days later, they're you see it's Selfie dropping a note in Discord saying basically we have left PoE. You can't go get your stuff, but we're giving access to a couple of guilds, access to our stuff so that they can get their stuff out because we're not going to pull that nonsense. And I've heard PoE so far saying, that Sun is the bad guys, and Sun is saying that PoE is the bad guys. I don't know what happened behind the scenes.
I see Sun's Alliance, PoE 2, including Eclipse, Dutch Squad, and Red Hawks as well. So 700 members. It's not a small thing. And if that's quote unquote Sun that left PoE, that's an interesting baseline for the politics from one of the bigger players in the season potentially. But there's a bunch of other, alliances forming again, getting ready just for the season. Maybe since I see them here, we should mention the Lonely Men real quick because they kind of did a thing last season, and I don't know if we celebrated that enough yet, Shozen.
We barely did. We've acknowledged that they won, but that was about it. We didn't even acknowledge it this show. We didn't say congratulations to the Lonely Men and Slayaheda for winning the Energy Surge season. They surged past the competition and won by a significant margin, as well as securing pretty high standing for their alliance mates as well.
They're back in their alliance together with Be Careful and Hope Breakers, which we hadn't seen last time around. But they got the highest rank. They got the big ticket thing. I don't know when the their thing goes into the game, right? I'm here in Carleon at the bank, and there's always the winner statue of the season. Do you know if the Energy Surge season has their own statue? They should.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw some drawings for it, and they were quite fantastical. Like, you know how they're the Hog Riders?
Yes.
Yeah, they want to do something with that.
So they want to have a pig on a throne and some dude on top of it.
Something like I can't go into exactly what they showed. It would be
Wait, how do
like,
you
breaking
how did,
NDA.
who did show that to you? How did you see that?
I see all.
Wow.
Somebody sent it to me and then immediately deleted it. They were like, "Oops, wrong picture."
Nice. Okay, I'll take it and I'll leak it.
Good luck.
Oh well,
right.
congratulations also from my side to the Hog Riders, to the Lonely Men for running away with it last season. Well-deserved guild banners all across Albion and a place in history for sure. Because yeah, it's been a short season, but a important one nonetheless. Lots of guilds qualified for hideouts
Yes,
and
they did.
HQs, and that's going to all play out sort of in the next week, I think.
Yeah, so this weekend coming up is the invasion, and this is when everybody will basically be able to start putting down their hideouts. I believe that's the official beginning of the season. People are going to claim their territories. I don't know how many of these guilds are going to drop territory, like hideouts, and claim what territories and how it's going to go. It's been how do I say it? I've gotten a lot of mixed information on this subject, Bogle, and I don't know what's going to happen. I do know that there are plenty of guilds out there that qualified. I don't know how many of the hundreds that qualified are going to actually go up and end up doing this, to be honest.
All 600 hideouts of day one, do you think?
No, there's so not 600 qualified.
Oh. Okay.
We thought there were going to be 600 qualified, but it's not. It's closer to like in almost 400, I think.
Mm-hmm. That's still a big number, though. If we see 400 hideout HQs in the next week, that's going to be an interesting scenario. I think it's lower too.
410.
But still, it's an interesting thought experiment to think about. Before we go away too far from the last season, I wanted to show this real quick because you guys actually wrote a little write-up on the last season, and I see your name there as well. I see congratulations to newcomers to win a unique standalone season. And there's a little write-up on the homepage.
Well, they're not exactly newcomers, but
it says here on the top.
I know what it says.
Okay, I get it. The point why I'm showing this is because on the bottom of this there are two interviews that we did here on the show. One with Slayer Hater, the GM of the Lonely Men. It's a link to a SoundCloud thing that we did, and we also did a interview with Daz and Asian King, the leadership of Fax, which had a really interesting story play out in the last day of the season. So it's a fun story, a fun, almost lore-worthy story in Albion to listen back to.
I think it's one of the better interviews that we've done. It really highlights an event that happened in Albion. Albion's lore is really what has happened with the players, what events happened in the course of the history of Albion to get us to where we are today. And while this event, the guild itself, might not go on and become one of the pillars of the Albion community, the history of how they went through this can be the kind of story that you tell your own guild when you're trying to push your guys to succeed.
Remember,
if they did that, we can too. And that's the kind of story. Yeah, remember like the Facts.
When they, on the last day of the season, didn't have enough season points, they bought all the Crystal League teams they could possibly buy. The teams lost.
Even the Great Kargera.
And then they had to go on a many-hour Crystal League spider grind to make it into the final rankings of the season as Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
That's a story. That's a story.
Yeah. Grinding it overnight, the time that it took and how the process unfolded with the spiders. I think it's really a good story, and people should check that out. Do we have a link for that we can drop in chat, or did you already take care of that?
I did, but it's at the bottom of the page. I didn't put the SoundCloud link in, but it's let me just put it thing again. 1 second.
Thank you, because I didn't have that one to link, and I think it's a great story for Albion. These are really the stories that motivate me. Albion has this uniqueness about it, this uniqueness, this thing that makes it special compared to most other games out there, most other MMOs. There's Eve. Eve has a server for the entire world, but it often, still feels like you're not playing with everybody. In this game, it really feels like you're playing with everybody, and the stories of this game really are the stories for everybody, and they really do create the world in which you live. And whether it's, King Derek and donate or leave,
Old school. Mm-hmm.
yeah, or the news situation where you have Sun's the enemy, or F for facts. These are things that they make up this world that we live in. It's just really neat, and I love being part of it. It makes me giddy. It makes me smile. But you know what else makes me smile, Bogle? And we got to get into this because we're going to run out of time. We have this gigantic update tomorrow. It's huge. It's absolutely just immense. We call it Albion 3.0. It's going to completely redo everything that you know about the Outlands politics, because what mattered before no longer matters. It's a completely new track to dominance out there. And I don't know what's going to happen. We see it shaking up. We see new alliances forming. We see old alliances shatter. IDC came out of nowhere and then crumbled before it even got a chance to push. It's already a new a new group out there, Bogle. We saw Triple A Alliance and Dove drop a hideout over in Red Tree. You see Sun leaving PoE. The world is changing, Bogle.
Very fast and to a surprisingly entertaining degree, I would say. I like it very much. I just scrolled a little bit through the update page here for the update. There have been dev talks, over the last few weeks where basically for every single one of these parts of the description, the improved open world PvE stuff, the new dungeons, the PvP objective changes, the graphical overhaul, the war gloves, the new weapon line, the completely reworked guild seasons, which is what you just talked about, the politics, the headquarters hideouts. All of that stuff has been floating around the Albion community for the last few months, and it's finally all coming together. If you haven't watched any of this, the thing I linked in Twitch chat is one of the better places to go off from, because it gives you a high level overview, and then you can dive into the YouTubes later and watch some of the dev talks on it, where all the different features are described in more detail. And then you should, I think that's required reading at this point, Shozen. Maybe at least the high level overview, and maybe, watch some of the dev talks in the background or something. Because you don't want to go tomorrow and log in and then realize that the zone you lived in is not the zone you remember from a while back.
You mean your hideout just been picked up and moved?
Your hideout could be different. The whole map could look different tomorrow.
That's, I think that's one of the low-key things we haven't talked about yet. Well, we have a little bit, but the map layout changes and how that's going to affect the world. Like, this is huge. How the chokes are laid out, how the rivers are laid out, how each individual biome has a theme to it, how the mobs are placed in groups to be effective, how there's pacing to the maps. This is going to be very interesting, and I'm wondering what it's going to be like when these new battles occur. Are they really maps centered around these smaller scale battles? Will they work for smaller scale battles? Will they have an impact on them? Or are they really designed for large scale battles like we've been seeing these last 2 years?
If you haven't, like, if you literally woke up from like a deep slumber and you're like in the woods and you're streaming Albion TV from your phone in the woods and you're like, what? There's an update tomorrow. I got to check this out. Or maybe you're watching us like a day late or something. Well, I guess then it's too late. But if you're like right now, you want to know about stuff and you can't wait, you can actually just still log into the test server, by the way, and see it for yourself. Like if you're like, there's too much talk, I just want to see it now, you can still log into the test server and actually try it out. Yeah. But it will be coming live tomorrow, probably around 14 UTC, which is a little later than the regular downtime. There is an extended downtime tomorrow. So that will, I mean, usually it lasts how much? An hour or so? From 10 to 11-ish?
It's going to be a longer one. I believe they said 4 hours.
Yeah. So it's quite a long time because there's a lot of changes to the world, and you need some time to make sure everything is actually right and not that all the hideouts in one zone spawn on top of each other or some funky nonsense. But it has been in testing for the last month, so I hope most of the things should be ironed out by now, Shozen. I think so. But if there's anything, we'll report on that tomorrow, I guess.
I think that's something we're going to have to report on the rest of the week.
Yeah.
I believe that there will be more bugs that have to be found.
Mhm.
We're going to have to deal with those. And that's one of the reasons why this is released in November instead of December, Bogul.
I see. Okay. For the people who are like super curious and they just want to read about it, there's patch notes as well for the test server, right? So if you're a patch notes kind of guy, that's a long list of patch notes, and I think we'll get an updated version of these patch notes tomorrow as well.
And we'll be going over those. Yeah.
That's a reference. Sergo asked about patch notes. These will be released, I think, tomorrow together with the patch. The up-to-date patch notes, the ones I linked in chat right now, are from the test server forums. So that is that's a week or so old, right? Maybe 2. November 3rd. Yeah.
A little bit longer than that. Yeah. About 3 weeks now, I feel.
So there will be probably a few more small changes, but it's happening, Shozen. It's finally happening. We've been hyping it for so long, and it's finally time. Finally time to do it. 14 UTC. There I found the post by Nesnes saying, "Be patient tomorrow. Extended maintenance." Are you reading chat?
Yeah, I'm reading. I'm getting everything ready. I'm making sure everything's okay. I'm trying to grab something and dealing with a little bit of difficulty with a gold code situation. Just clarifying something for someone. Just fixing everything, making sure everything works. Sorry, I was a little distracted there. But we do have we had more news come out while we were away. Like we said, we had the content creator program, but we also had 2 dev talks drop while we were away. One of which was on the HQs out there.
Power cores and headquarters hideouts.
Yeah.
That was November 11th. It's just 10 days ago, 11, 12 days ago, where they go over the specifics on how that system works. You can see some live action pictures. See how these floating rings you can see in the world now. It's kind of fancy. If you walk into them, you get like bounced back until they become available to capture up. And that's some of the new mechanics that will be introduced. The power cores are important for the headquarters, right? So these
and hideouts
give energy to the hideouts, and they allow them to remain a hideout. Or
they do a number of things. Yeah, they do a number of things here. Like I believe they even, if you scroll, they will show what some of the bonuses are towards your hideouts. I believe it'll give crafting bonuses to hideouts or give you the energy for your HQ, correct?
I think you mixed up the energy vortexes with the
energy
vortexes
is gathering bonuses on towers.
Right. I don't think there's a list yet with the specific exact values. Right, Chad?
No, I don't believe there's a list yet for the exact values, but I believe it does say that it does give you a bonus towards those as well. I really hope it does, yeah. How does it work for Avalon HO? It doesn't.
no hideout HQs in the Roads of Avalon yet. That's something
Yeah.
they're looking at for the future, but it will be the Outlands only with the new patch tomorrow.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see how that works eventually and how it will work in the roads. But no, the next update will just be for the Outlands only. This is an Outlands heavy update. Now it's got a lot of UI stuff. It's got the art and the audio as well that is great for everybody. But gameplay wise, the gameplay is really focused on making the Outlands great again. To bring them to a point where you want to live there, go out and fight for your area where you live, where you play, not go to a tower 5 times a day on the hour to fight for who gets to go into the zone, like a cluster queue battle of who's going to wait there the longest and be able to master the art of line queuing. No, it's about living in your zones, establishing a dominance in your zone, and controlling it for the resources and valuable spawns that occur there, and moving from zone to zone in your general area and fighting the people for what spawns there, whether it's high level mobs that have been up for a while, chests that have been up for a while, the power cores that spawn randomly in multiple levels, or the energy vortexes that spawn randomly in multiple tiers and levels. So it's really focusing on getting you to be out there and active rather than waiting for a timer to be active. Like, go out there and make the content now. Be that content creator. Don't be the guy who's really lining people up to go out the door in 25 minutes.
Yeah, my favorite thing is the individual rewards for the players with the sort of the guild season rework, where the stuff you do in the open world rewards you, and then sort of partially as well your guild, right? But a lot of the rewards you get for activity that you previously might have done to get season points for your guild actually straight up give you stuff. Might and favor is what it's called, and with the whole new Conquerors challenge, right now we do have the Adventurous challenge, but Conquerors challenge is Outland specific and geared towards guilds, with various levels of might, where you basically get points for doing stuff, and these points sort of affect your guild as well. So it's going to be a very different reward sort of structure for the Outlands, which is going to be the most interesting for me to see. And based on what I've heard so far from the test server, actually, like doing fame farm in the Outlands is going to be way better.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a step up, and it can, depending on how you do it, it can become incredibly profitable. I want to hit on 2 things that came up in chat real quick, Bogul. Ice Guy says, low-key, the buy a full loadout thing is dope too. Yeah, it is. For those of us who've been using loadouts and grabbing things from our boxes with our loadouts, being able to buy a loadout, huge. Absolutely huge. Just absolutely fantastic. Love it. It's going to be great for people who, have to re-gear quickly. I'm going to be able to take advantage of this. It's going to be great for guilds too that are telling people what they need to wear for certain situations. Just grab the loadout. No, it's there. Just use it. Fantastic. I think that's going to be great. And the second one was, why did they have to swap the food and potion? Now, they swapped it so that it's the same as what appears on your UI bar on the bottom. So the potion is now on the left, just like the 1 button. It's on the left of the number 2.
How it's supposed to be, apparently. I'm trying to highlight the number 1 down here. It's a little hard to see, but if you look down here, it's F and then 1 and 2 and then the overcharge, and that's just swapped on the character doll. It's one of these things that, like, wait, this happened 5 years we didn't notice.
We noticed, Bogle. I think we noticed very early on when potions were added.
Yeah.
And like,
wait, when potions were added, that's
a long time ago. Remember?
No.
Like, remember when you don't remember when that was added to farming? I remember when it was added to farming. It was wild. We're like, this is gonna revolutionize farming.
Continuous progress. Continuous progress. Still cool. Still cool. Yeah. A bunch of other things. I mean, farming gets some quality of life improvements too. But the other dev talk that we didn't yet talk about is about the elite levels and the war gloves, the new weapon line that is going to come with that update tomorrow as well. I know a lot of people are really hyped about the combo potential of the
cool.
war gloves. And I want to link that in chat in case you haven't seen that yet. Because I don't think we'll watch it live today, right, Shozen?
No, I mean, if we were going to watch, what we could watch is just the section with Retro Man. You want to cue that up where we're talking about the combos that he shows? Because I think that was very well done. Like him showing off all the cool combos and how the Qs and the Es work incredibly different compared to things that we have currently in the game. And I think that he describes it in a way that really works well. And I think maybe if we could just cue that up and discuss that.
I have to find it, sir.
You're almost there. You're almost there.
There, somewhere here?
Q slot
Yeah.
ability.
All right.
It'll show his name on the bottom. And
Because we want to give players close to your enemies.
No, wait.
Each
Robin.
weapon
There you
and
go.
its abilities. in
Robin,
detail.
Robin.
War gloves
Retro.
are our brand new brawler weapon line.
Oh, it doesn't show it.
They are
There it is.
designed to have good tools to get up close to your enemies and pull off cool combos. With their swift movement options, they can easily stick to their target, and overall, their kit has a lot of versatility because we want to give players interesting decisions and outplay possibilities. A weapon that is easy to learn but hard to master. The first new thing is that they have one more Q slot ability than other weapons, which allows for a wide range of different builds and flexibility in different situations. So let's talk about some of these abilities. Triple Kick is a W ability where you fly towards your target location, doing 3 kicks in the air, and you can aim it close to your character to do all 3 kicks in close proximity, useful if you want to damage multiple mobs, or you can jump the full distance for the extra mobility. The triple kick will also drag up to 1 player along with you, which can be used to interrupt abilities or isolate a single target. Blazing Geyser is the E ability of the Battle Bracers. This ability unleashes an explosion in front of you, which deals damage and knocks enemies into the air. The unique twist is, if you hit at least one enemy, it also resets your Q slot cooldown. This makes it great for chaining together combos, especially with Q abilities like Dragon Leap, which can be activated twice before it goes on cooldown. So you can use Dragon Leap twice, then Blazing Geyser, then Dragon Leap twice again. Additionally, you can mix in your W or armor abilities in between, and then you have something ready for your next montage video. But beware that not everything is a true combo, and the enemy can interrupt you between certain hits if they have a defensive ability like Force Field ready. The Fists of Avalon also have an interesting E ability called Purifying Combination. It is a 3-part combo. The first activation is a roundhouse kick that knocks enemies away. The second is a jump with a dive kick, knocking enemies into the air, and the last is a Purifying Fist, which finishes the combo off with massive damage. Of course, in between each attack you can also combine any other ability. There are many more new abilities which can be used in combos like this, like Cross Step and Aggressive Burst, which can turn you into a scary auto attack machine, or Infernal Boulder, which can be followed up by Triple Kick to make all 3 hits of the boulder land on one enemy as a true combo. I wish you lots of fun exploring all the different abilities and trying out various combo possibilities for yourself. And I hope you enjoy the smooth gameplay experience that we could achieve thanks to the amazing job our art and sound teams did. All the new animations, visual effects and sounds feel very satisfying to use and make you feel like the main character of a martial arts movie or a fighting game. And as a big fan of fighting games myself, I had a great time working on them and hope we can bring you many enjoyable moments with this new web line. As a team, we have grown a lot while making the war gloves. and we plan to apply what we learned to improve many of the older weapon lines and abilities in future updates. The War Gloves really offer.
Yeah, the war gloves, Shozen.
Very exciting, Bogle. I'm really loving the combos out of these and seeing how that they can work together and you get some really cool effects. It's going to be interesting to see how these work in the fives. This is where I'm seeing some of these combos and just the ability to constantly keep your opponent just under pressure
Hmm.
in fives could be really effective. I want to see how they work.
I mean,
In practice.
aside from the trickiness and probably high skill level of these, or the highest skill of
Oh, our
ceiling?
players have high skill, Bogle. Have you seen them compete against Cargera in Bodeville?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that I think it's cool that we get like a bigger combo sort of kit for a weapon. And the one last sentence that he said there is like, we're basically also working on revamping a bunch of other stuff because we learned a lot, right? That sort of outlook is something I want to highlight because that means for me that there's more of this thing coming soon. Like, they showed the quarter stuff, right? That also get that treatment of the different auto attack, right? You go 1, 2, 3, and they have different values, of different damage values for the auto attack combinations. And if you can translate that to other weapons, it's a cool thing. But yeah, Wargloves fighting boxing game, Shozen.
Fighting games, boxing games. So one of the things that how I talk to Retroman a lot. We talk about fighting games and his love of fighting games and my love of fighting games and the past on retro tournaments and stuff like that quite a bit. And we both have a love of combo stuff and the flexibility that you get with that. And I'm looking forward to how future weapon lines will benefit from this. Like, what will we see as a combo built mage staff? All I can think of right off the bat is like a static staff, that builds up static, and depending on how many levels of static you have, it does different types of shocks.
You're making up things now, Shozen.
Oh yeah, well, I'm just saying that's what I think of when I hear this idea of combo-based gameplay. What's next? It puts me into that phase. It puts me into that what's next phase, into that speculation. And I know we shouldn't be looking at
Especially
6 months down the line because
like...
we have a patch tomorrow. But he did it to me again, Bogle. He did it to me again.
Like, you get this new patch and you see all the possibilities, and you go, "Wait, you can apply this to that," and you go dreaming fast.
Right, right.
But I think tomorrow is about enjoying all that new stuff, all the new tools, all the new fancy looking things. I mean, if you could just step out of the city, basically, a lot of things will look very different. And it's definitely worth, even just looking around for a little bit. Because we didn't really mention the graphical update today that sort of, I think, opened the hype season for the Lands Awakened, where all of the world is going to look very different. Not only the map layouts will change, but also the graphical overhaul on the design of the color and the landscape that is way less copy pasta and way more purpose designed.
Yeah, it really is just each zone is handcrafted now to be a beautiful zone of pre-placed death.
What? Pre-placed death?
Yeah, like it's designed to get things killed.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. In the other second part of the dev talk, Robin talks about the elite levels, and we sort of have mentioned that before, but now you can go beyond the 100 spec on your Destiny board. You can go to 120, and if you do so, you get these fine badges here on the side of your character doll. If other people inspect you, they see that as well, and you get more item power for that as well. But the tricky thing is, of course, that the elite levels are only unlockable with the fame credits and silver together. So that's really the end game compared to right now. And that also gives a bunch of people something new to do, right?
Yeah, OG Strem will have something to do.
Yeah, the super rich people who have maxed out the Destiny board. Oh my god, there's like, how many people exist? Like 10 or 15 in the whole
I know
game?
Vokandon is coming back so that he can go ahead and get all of those achievements again.
Well, Buchanan is
He's already
achievement
back.
hunter
He's
number
he's
one,
back. Yeah, he's back. Hey, OG Strem is here in chat. Of course he is. How he's got to make sure he doesn't lose ground to me and that damn energy. Like, I'm never gonna catch this guy.
OG Stream, are we
really-
actually maxed out? Like, because I was always wondering what the amount of players of, I think, the millions of Albion players that have made a character and have started leveling is that actually maxed out the Destiny board. I think it's like, from what I've seen confirmed, it's probably less than 20 that I know of. Maybe less than 10 even.
Are you talking about the whole?
Yeah, yeah.
How much?
Like, I guess, like crafting.
Are you talking about combat and crafting? Because like, there's some crafting stuff that. Come on now.
Yeah.
Are there 20 people?
The crafting is easy. Combat is easy too. Like, the hard part is the farming stuff. That's
yeah,
and
farming,
the gathering
that's-
stuff.
yeah,
That's the harder parts, which
The
usually is the
food,
make or
like,
break.
Are how are you gonna master all that food?
Well, the food is easy because
I guess if you're mastering it if you're doing all the farming and food for sun, I guess you could.
yeah, you can study food as well.
Okay.
Right. So there's only two things you can, quote unquote, get with money, right?
Okay.
So crafting is kind of easy with money, and then the fighting, worst case, you can buy tomes, but long term you can actually just grind it out. And with the new fame levels, it's easier to get there. But the food and the gathering is the hard, time intensive part of that. Anyways, why are we talking about this? Oh, by the way, the character I showed is a GM character, so don't get afraid. I got lucky to have that unlocked because to show off items.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's a GM cheat, sir. Anyways, what are we talking about? New update, kind of cool. What else?
Yeah, we were talking about what was on the different dev talks, really,
Right,
and how two of them had dropped while we were gone, and that one was the war gloves and the elite levels, and the other one was the hideouts and the power cores. But yeah, going to be interesting to say the least, Bogul. I'm just very excited. It very much feels like a new round of Albion, and I don't know what is the biggest thing to me, like singular thing. If I had to pick one single thing that I thought was the biggest, I'd have to go with the art overhaul.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's the most impactful of any of them by any stretch. And I would say that I feel like the mobs leveling up and
Really?
over time might end up being one
You're
of the things
a
that.
PvE guy, are you?
Well, no, I'm thinking what's going to affect the most people over time. What's going to affect most people, like not just like a small segment of the population. What's going to affect everybody.
Oh, so
And I
discarding
think-
might in favor because of okay.
Yeah, and so I think this is going to impact the most people going forward, and might be one of the bigger changes
Mm-hmm.
in
Interesting
Albion.
take.
Remember what it did to Albion when they removed that from beta 1 to 2.
That's way back in time. I don't remember.
You got
What's-
to
what
remember, like
biggest
the
thing-
change, like the world was completely different when you roamed the world from spot to spot, always fearing or always expecting with anticipation that PvP in group form would be around the corner while you were gathering and living out there in the world. If they can bring that back with the changes to the Outlands, that will be the biggest change, period.
I think for me, it's the combination of incentive or the various incentives that get you out in the Outlands. So personal rewards through might and favor, but also higher just fame overall in the Outlands, which hopefully makes I think it goes into the similar direction that you said, where that's just more of a reason to hang out in the Outlands and get into trouble, basically, which is sort of fun, and with the right rewards attached to it, it's going to be a good game, essentially. I'm looking through my list, Chosen, of PSAs and stuff we should remind people of for tomorrow. And I
Okay.
think we have one or two left that we should not forget.
All right, let's get them up because we are running out of time. I do want to announce that we do have a number of winners for the raffle. We just announced 2 more in chat. Go ahead and check it out. And I got to say this, Cow Smack has one of the best images for his Twitch character that I've ever seen. It's a cow smiling. It's both disturbing and fantastic.
Yeah, I already mentioned Cow Smack. What? Time 14 UTC. This is estimated time, right? It can be later, can be earlier, but that's what they estimate. That's when you can play tomorrow. There is also a quick note on removed furniture in the Lands Awakened update. So if you have a chest somewhere for some reason in the Outlands, pick it up, or any other furniture, because it will get a cleanup, and all the open world objectives, crates, stuff like that will be destroyed. That's because the zones are changing, right? So the layouts are changing, and placed objects, except for hideouts, just get cut during that process, because there's no way figuring out how to replace them, or I don't know. It's just easier that way, I think. And the other one, Hideout move with Lands Awaken update, which is a guild thing. If you guys and your guild has a hideout in the Outlands currently, these will be automatically adjusted to fit into the zone map, as it will be different at the time tomorrow. They will likely not move very far, but there will come a hideout move with that. So within 3 days of the launch, basically before Season 14 starts, right, there is an option to move your hideout within the current zone. Only move it once and cannot be reverted if you mess it up and you don't like it anyway.
Now, my question is that like a pick up and move, or is it this is the
I don't
spot that
know.
I want it now and I want it here now? Because I'm worried about places like Red Tree, which it's so hard to find a spot, right? To put them. If you have a forced move, and it's been picked up for you and you have to put it down, what if you can't? What? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to be watching. I feel like I should take a picture of those zones around Red Tree, a couple screenshots before the server changes tomorrow, and see how many hideouts got messed up.
Only hideouts in affected zones can be moved. So hideouts in the roads of Avalon are not subject to a free move. So, yeah. And if you don't move it within 3 days, it will remain as placed. That's the other one I had on my list, Chosen, as important PSAs going into tomorrow. Yeah, I guess. And one other thing, the new overlays for the map will also not immediately work perfectly, because there's some data that they rely on, right? So the silver value, for example, the region value overlays that will be introduced tomorrow, need some real data first to feed into the system. Otherwise, it gives you wrong information. So that will take a few days to charge up. Latest on December 1st, that should be available though. But they'll try to get it in as soon as possible. Resource value and silver value overlays, specifically. So if you're missing these tomorrow, don't worry. They are there. You didn't lose them.
Yeah. So, Bogul, I think we've gotten this hideout thing done. Is there any other PSAs? Because I feel like we could end this on let me take selfies message about the sun situation. It's a giant wall of text, and I love making you read.
What?
it makes me feel like a first grade teacher who's like, okay, it's your turn to read now.
Wait,
Please
that's
open
a
your books to
huge.
page 47 and read the next 7 pages.
Before I do that, there is another post on the website that gives you an overview about the season 14 changes, with all the dates, and it links to a forum post with a schedule for the season 14, where you can see, all the important dates and when it starts. 27th, that's this Saturday. When it ends on the 21st of February, 2022. So if you haven't seen that yet, that's out there as well. And now you sent me something about the Sun drama situation that you might want
Hold on,
to...
we have a question in chat before we get to the Sun drama.
Okay.
All right. Safe to 7229 Albion Online. I have a question. What will happen to the players that have spent thousands of hours gathering fame in the regular way? Like, I first was, what do you mean? Nothing. Everything will be the same. Nothing changes for anybody. What is the regular way? So I have a lot of questions, and I think, does he mean, what about the? You're gonna have more fame to get? Like, have you ever seen the monkey scratching behind its head and it looks confused and it just doesn't know what's going on? That's what I imagine I look like right now. Very confused. I don't think anything happens to you. I think you're going to be fine, but you will have, with the mastery, and the elite levels now, you'll have more fame that you can get in those. Oh, a mob in the red zone drop. Are you saying, are you upset because other people can catch up faster and you've spent more time investing into fame before getting fame was easier?
I think
And you're
that's what
wondering
it
if you're
is,
going to
yeah.
get compensated for your time?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's like...
No. Then nothing will happen to you. Like, then it's a straight nothing.
Yeah. I think the some people have this notion of, I spend a lot of time in the old system, quote unquote, and I spend a lot of hours in the old system. But there's effectively no reason to it's a tricky thing to answer, and I'm not speaking for SPI here, right? Not that, but some people will feel awkward about that fact. But
Yeah.
in reality, you can't give too much to just old money or old experience, because overall it's a new sort of approach and an improved approach to the whole fame progression. And overall, that's better for the game, even though, other people can reach that point, quote unquote, faster.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like gathering fame and leveling always gets faster in MMOs. Whether it's EXP, fame, whatever kind of levels that you get in your game, you always over time, there's always a catch-up mechanism for the players who get involved later. Whether it's a situation where, if you look at just Albion the first year and how slow fame was, and how it was absolutely a very, very difficult grind. The only thing that's still that kind of grind is gathering.
Even that got alleviated over time a little bit. I think
Somewhat,
twice
but
or
it's
three
still,
times.
yeah.
It's still a long
But
time.
it's still the longest grind. But I understand what you're saying is, a lot of people have had to level up, and it took a long time. But you've had a lot of time probably where you had a bit of an edge on some of these players. And now you're going to have, while they're trying to catch up to you, you're going to now have a place where you can gain another level of advantage on them through the elite levels.
Point,
yeah. So it's about bringing the high end closer together, but also letting the highest end have a bit more rope to lead out on, to get a little bit farther away, but it's going to take a lot of effort.
I just read the statement you sent me, by Let Me Take Selfie that I see on Discord was sent to one of our informants for publishing. But I don't
Well,
think
yeah,
I can like read all of that, Chosen. I think,
no, but yes, you can. You have a good 45 minutes left. You can get this done.
dude, so we talked at the beginning of the show about the long-standing PoE member's son leaving the PoE alliance. And Let Me Take a Selfie, the I think acting or current GM.
This is all good information. This is background and history. This is different than just when they left.
Look at this wall of text, sir.
I am looking at it, and I'm looking forward to your docile tones reading it to the audience.
I think that we need to give away a gold code. People can pause the stream if they watch it back, or they can take a screenshot and then they can read it themselves, or they can.
Don't make me do a dramatic reading. I will totally do a dramatic reading on this, Bogul, if you don't read it normal.
Guys, am I supposed to read this to you guys so you can gather and then just listen to me read? That's like
just all nod, guys. All nod.
Wall of text. Sure, read. Yes. No. Chat, please. Let Me Take a Selfie, the acting GM or current GM of Sun. All right, so basically from the beginning, a ton of people believe we joined PoE because we were forced by the first surf war around wetlands. That is in fact not true. We originally joined PoE because being a part of a large alliance allows your guild to get access to end-game content. And when we do something in Sun, we always fully commit. Personally, I have been very happy with having Syndic as an alliance leader. Unlike what many believe, he actually has a good sense of humor, and very importantly, he's strong as a leader, and that is something you would want when looking for an alliance. All of these democracy and council constellations doesn't really work out well in the long run. We fought 4 massive wars back to back with the Alliance and on a guild level. Most players in Sun agree that Season 12, with the full eviction of Black Order, was the top death to Shiro in-game, of course. Winning a season was one thing, but on a personal level, then the ZVZ action we as a guild had with Del Negro was just splendid. He's such a nice guy with a positive mindset and attitude. If you ask me if I regret joining PoE in the beginning, the answer would be no. We would do it all again. We in the guild doesn't take the coming eviction too hard. It is only natural to be removed from the best zones in the game, and to be fair, we kind of evicted guilds around us as well. We ain't no saints. I could talk long about the doctrine of how PoE fights, but I really don't think anyone is interested if I should drop a hint to players that want to dig a little down the history of things. I suggest looking into Goon Swarm from EVE Online. Sometimes history gives a good answer to the now and likely often to where the future is headed. Should I go on?
Anyways,
should I read the second part too?
Yeah.
Any comments so far, Shozen?
Ooh, well, my first comment would be that's a little juicy tidbit about the goon swarm things, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's connecting the.
It's just make believe goons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a sidetrack. There's only an ongoing rumor that Sun was leaving PoE due to a massive robbery, and that is simply not true. Our decision on leaving is due to the fact that we as a guild believe the new patch will allow guilds to establish themselves in the black zones without having to be a part of a mega alliance, and we want to give that a shot. It is time to move back to the old roots with fun, entertaining gameplay, and when you do not have to think about ZVZ numbers as a guild leader, it will allow you to be more selective in your recruitment building and building a community with a ton of nice people around you. I can already feel how the members of my guild believe we made the right choice. We did at least 100 mammoth transports moving stuff out of Gulch, and everyone have just been so nice and helpful.
Aww.
Yeah. I mean, I can see his point, right? That's sort of the point of the update, right? Sort of split off and do your thing. So I see that angle in terms of story as well.
Yeah.
About the robbery, what hurts the most is not really the silver, I think. Everyone who has been watching Lupac stream lately will know what Sun is, was, and will be doing in the future financially. Or they will be doing fine in the future financially. What hurts the most is that the entire officer core of Sun bumped into the rare psychopath that decides to steal from everyone in the guild. I still believe leading a guild is about trust and friendship. The particular officer was with us for 2 years and no one saw it coming. It's simply not just cool to steal from every member of a guild, and I would like to warn everyone around to work with Farming Bot and his brother Randion. But in the end, we refuse to let the actions of a psychopath ruin the natural way friendship and trust should develop in a guild. About the timing of leaving PoE, I would like to add that we, until the decision went public, fully masked to support PoE at all times. I do believe Sun was the alliance partner every alliance leader would want in all the time we played here, and I do believe the best time for leaving an alliance, or a guild for that matter, as a member will be in between seasons. Sun has been around for 20 plus years, and those who claim we will break due to a robbery just never understood what it was all about. Sun is more than a guild. We are a community, and yes, we will be evicted from gold, but sometimes fighting with a smile on the cheek is more important than winning. Best of luck to all participants in the upcoming war. May it bring a ton of quality content to AlbionTV. And also a shout out to all of the guild leaders that will be taking their new guilds into the Outlands with a headquarter. Best of luck in your conquest. Statement from Let Me Take a Selfie of Sun in regards to the breakoff from PoE and the recent robbery that happened to Sun.
Well, I always hate to see a guild get robbed, but as we say, and we've said many times, adversity makes guilds stronger. It really does bring the guilds together when something bad happens. And maybe when they got together, they realized they wanted a change. They saw an opportunity. They went for it, and it was just not viewed by all members of their alliance as a cool thing to do. You know, and might be cool to them. And they seem to be very polite on the way out the door. Still don't understand why they got the reception they did. This doesn't talk about that at all. Kind of sweeps under the rug that, you know, they're not allowed to get their stuff back.
I'm not making any comments. I think there might be some community drama happening anyway, so there will be some new adversaries forged. Is that a way to say it?
Yeah, well, I mean, we see a little bit of in chat right now, right? We see Durakin 27 in chat being quite angry at Let Me Take Selfie, blaming him for all of this. It's all Let Me Take Selfie.
Wow.
Yeah.
The drama.
Drama is real. It's going to continue on.
The pointing of fingers. Drama is real. Guild drama is real in Albion. Writing 2-page announcements for that kind of stuff is the norm. It's kind of, you know, on the one side, it's interesting to snoop around in other people's business, right? On the other side, it's a natural development of the war times in Albion. Things can be brutal. Things can be unforgiving. But if you can come together as a guild and deal with the waves rocking your boat, then I think it makes you stronger overall. That kind of thing.
Well, I mean, we even saw that today with PoE. After the loss of Sun from PoE, they finally were good at ZVZ.
Oh no, that's not connected, Shozen. I don't think Sun sucking at ZVZ. I don't.
Wait, whoa! I never put Sun and the word sucking at ZVZ
you
together.
Just did that.
That was yours.
Wow.
That was yours.
Shozen.
There, you
Shozen.
did that. I said that the adversity of Sun leaving brought the rest of PoE together, and they succeeded as a ZVZ force more today than they had in the recent past and had some very, very good plays and really looked like they had come together and played well. I did not say that there was an addition by subtraction. I was saying that adversity leads to guilds working better amongst themselves.
Guys, did you notice how long it took him to weasel out of that?
I was trying to take you out of that. I was trying to undig you, Bogul. That's what I was doing
so
there.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I think that's a fitting end to today's show. The drama will live on. The guilds will fight on, and it's time to give the whole big sandbox of Albion Online a big shake-up tomorrow. Throw a bunch of sand around, build a few new castles, stomp on a bunch of other people's castles, and have some fun tomorrow. I think that's it's hype season. Like actually experiencing it in game tomorrow. Lands Awaken. Good times.
You know, I'm looking forward to experiencing most, Bogul. Actually going into the world and playing and hearing the music change.
Oh,
like experiencing the music as it was intended rather than just bouncing around, on my GM trying to just check everything. Getting some time to just get the natural flow of the game. I'm just gonna go out and do some normal stuff and see what it's like.
Do we have time tomorrow to like play before we have a show tomorrow? Maybe we have an hour or two.
We could. Well, why don't we do that? Why don't I'll talk to you after the show. We'll set aside some time and maybe we'll do some game time together.
Sure.
All right, sounds good. And on that note, guys, I think I've drawn enough raffles for the day. Everybody think so? Okay, good. I think everybody feels like I've definitely probably even pulled too many.
Well, there will be more raffles tomorrow, on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, during the other shows that we do have here around the 19 UTC time slot. We have a plan to just hang out tomorrow, at 19 and just see, hop around the world a little bit, see what it's like. Disseminate any last minute messages, stuff like that, see what you guys think. Then on Thursday, we might have a new player show planned. Is that correct? 19
yeah, we're going to have Nomad Poncho on. He will be joining us, and we'll be going over how the new patch and the new content really affects new players. Last time we had him on, we went over the War Gloves in particular. We're going to look at some of the other features, some of the less talked about features. We'll probably go over things like loadouts a little bit and just the overworld gameplay in general and how that works and what you'll want to be looking for as a newer player and how you can take advantage of these updates in your own gameplay. So yeah, we'll be going over that, and I'm looking forward to it. And then the following week, we'll have Big Lips McGee on, actually, and I look forward to that a lot. I actually have not gotten to speak with him yet, other than through Discord. We haven't actually gotten to talk in person yet, so I'm really looking forward to speaking with him. And we've got a lot of great content lined up for this season. I'm very, very excited. It's going to be a really good season for Albion in general.
Right. And of course, Saturday, Invasion Day, with the special streams during the Invasion Day timer, 18 and 01, and the Crystal League and everything in between. So we're back. Season's back. AlbionTV is back. Let's get this rolling. And I wish you guys all the greatest fun tomorrow. May there be less bugs for all of us, and let's hope for a smooth launch. I think they have some good things to show tomorrow. So let's get ready for that, Shozen. I'm done with my notes. You can say goodbye if you want to.
I will say goodnight. Bye, Albion. See you tomorrow.